Well, howdy there. This is Grandpa Silas, and let me tell you, it's been a while. Well, let me tell you, young whippersnapper, something now. Before I do, now I got a nephew over here, one behind this camera here, and then I got one over making a heap of lot of noise over there, messing with some saws, doing some fangle thing or another. But anyway, let me tell you something. Okay. Alright, now how many of you know about... Now, before I start, now a lot of you gonna say, well, you looking mighty fine for an old feller, and all this kind of stuff, but let me tell you, I'm no vampire. I've been around for a long time. I ain't one of them bloodsuckers. I'm not one of them especially one of them blood-sucking sucker lawyers, Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you something right now. You look and feel good just as much as I do, as ifin' you know how to eat good victuals. Now, just for example, okay? Now, if you sit there and you eat like some good old biscuits and heap of possum gravy, that awesome possum gravy. Oh yeah, and maybe some bacon and some eggs, or maybe a good old some ham hocks and beans and some griddles and you know what I mean, grits, and all that kind of stuff, and good old taters. That's right. Not to mention some good old roast possum, and maybe even some good old ham, and some collard greens, and good old corn squeezing. Now, I'm not talking about that what they call moonshine. Well, the corn squeezings is what they squeeze from the corn, and you make a nice juice out of it, no alcohol, none of that stuff. Now, when I was a young whippersnapper, like some of y'all was, then, yeah, back in them days, I've been known to take a snort here or there, and not none of that stuff that you young whippersnappers today out there, like that white powdered stuff, and they call it taking a snort. They don't know what a snort is. But anyway, I'm getting off beside the story. Never mind. I'm going to tell you about Abraham Lincoln. Now I've been there. I surely have. Now, don't go giving me them googly eyes and raising your eyebrows at me. I'm telling you right now, I met him. That was around 1864. Now, Abraham Lincoln, there was times when he didn't know what to do on certain things, and he would go off in the woods like he did when he was a young man. Because he used to do a lot of wood chopping. He was like a lumberjack, and that helped him think. Well, one day I was out there cutting up on some wood and getting prepared for the winter. It was around, I think it was around late October or somewhere, maybe early November. I think it was around October. Well, it was something else, I'm going to tell you. I'm sitting over chopping and splitting wood, and then next thing you know, I hear this and I turn around, and there's this tall feller. I got to looking and I said, well, I'll be a dang fool if that ain't Abraham Lincoln, Mr. President. And he come over, he says, do you mind if I help? I says, well, if you wanting to, you just, I reckon so. So what brings you out here, Mr. President? He says, please just call me Abraham. I says, well, how about, can I just call you Abe? He says, you can call me Abe. He says, just don't call me late for dinner. He says, by the way, he says, I hadn't had any good grits and gravy in a long time. He says, do you have grits and gravy? I said, I sure do. He said, I tell you what, I'd be honored if, after this day is done, we go over to the cabin and we'll have some of that. And say, how do you like your awesome possum gravy on your biscuits? He goes, oh yeah. He knew good eating when he saw it. He knew, oh yeah. He loved it, yeah. Well, anyway. He didn't know what to do. He was a talking and he was talking about the war and all this. And he was sitting there talking with me about the problems he was having, situations, and he didn't know what to do. He wanted the war to end. I told him, I said, you want the war to end? I said, I'll tell you what. I said, Abe, I says, feels funny calling you Abe, Mr. President, but okay, Abe, here's the thing. If you allow me to, I can fix it for you real good. I says, you know that General Lee? I says, well, I can make him give up real good. And says, you just give me a week. And I says, you just give me the word. Just say, okay, give me permission, to get past the soldiers, our boys. So they don't stop me or they don't go thinking I'm working for the South, Don't want to be taken for any Johnny Reb. Well, needless to say, he did, and we had a nice long chat. He's a good old Joe. I liked old Lincoln. Yeah, Abe. He was a good man. Now, don't get it wrong. Now, he had his faults here and there, like any one of us. Now, don't you?
Grandpa,
What? Your warhorse is giving me some trouble here, I'm telling you. Boy, keep your mouth shut while your betters is talking.
Yes, sir. Yes.
That's how you tell these youngins these days. All right. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. So, anyway, he gave me a week, and I, went out and got past the enemy lines and stuff, and I snuck into old General Lee's home. I introduced him to a good old hickory stick. Yeah, deep. And I told him how to eat the cabbage. And I did, too. I shoved some cabbage down in his mouth to shut him up. He had... Excuse me there. He had some cabbage in the kitchen and stuff when I was coming through and to his study, his library where he was at. So I just let him eat the cabbage and I told him how it was. So anyway, I sat there and told him some things or two. Now, I could tell you everything that was said, but that would take forever here. And I'm getting to it, Warhorse. Young'uns. Boy, after this is over, me and you gonna have some words, boy. Okay, now where was I? Oh yeah. Now I told him how to eat the cabbage and told him how it was with the war that he wasn't even thinking about, And I kind of fabricated a little bit to him, Told him that he was losing so bad that that boy didn't even know what was going on. Told him exactly what was happening. I told him, I said, your boys is losing their lives or dying and dropping like flies on a cow. And then our boys is dying and dropping like flies too. I said, now it's gotta stop. I said, you don't stop it, and you can stop it right quick. You go to Lincoln and you surrender. And you tell your other boys that too. See, now a history book won't, and all them won't tell you that. But that's the way it was. If I'm a lion, I'm a dime. Anyway, told him how to eat the cabbage. And told him the way it was. If he wanted to end the war, he could swallow his pride and just, because we're supposed to be Americans, we're supposed to be United States, not divided. And here we are going through all this crap again. Bunch of idiots these days, I swear. But anyway, instead of progressing for good things, they're reversing and regressing to the bad things, and they haven't learned nothing from history. But anyway, turn around so many days later, old Mr. General Lee, he goes and surrenders. And next thing you know, it wasn't, well, rest is history. Yeah, well, that's what happened. And they gave, and Mr. Lincoln, the president, gave me a medal. Gave me a Medal of Honor. If I'm a lion, I'm a dime. Now, if you want to live as long as I have, look as good as I am at my age, then I recommend you eat some good victuals, some good eating. You gotta have good eating, and have that iron fortitude, to do your chores. Now, you see that right there? That was one of them new fancy fangled axes. That's the axe handle. Dang thing sit there and broke. And it's supposed to be, what was it called? What was it? Fiberglass there? Warhorse? Yeah. Alright. So anyway, that thing broke. Now, if it would have been a good hickory. Good old hickory or a good old oak axe handle, that it wouldn't have broke like that. And that happened. And, I keep that as a reminder that stuff like that, people taking shortcuts and wanting things easier, what happens? Yeah, you gotta stick with the old ways. It's a lot better when it comes to good old fortitude and working and putting your back to the grinder. Well, now next time, the good Lord willing, now I'll tell you about meeting General Patton, okay? Yeah. Alright, now, until then, let me just say, you have a good day. And next time maybe we'll have some people all out here. I can talk like I used to. Ever since that stupid pandemic and all that kind of run people off. Bunch of idiots. No, not the people that run off. I'm talking about the ones who caused the pandemic. Hated those stupid masks. Anyway, Y'all come back now, you hear? Thank you for coming. Thank you kindly.